Alright, guys and gals, it's time for Rauta's unboxing stream. Unboxing and beer. So, basically, gonna do some unboxing for the albums I've received late this week, actually, this weekend. And then I'm gonna just answer your random questions. So, basically, Q&A, questions and answers, and some beer popping sounds with some unboxing stuff. So, should you have any questions? Like, what the hell are you drinking? I don't even know. Looks quite nice though, like an old television screen. There's the camera. Anyway, hello Alex. Nice to have you here. So this time I am streaming about albums. A couple of parcels that just appeared here. This one I picked today. Funnily enough, actually, I was yesterday going to the gym and I was picking one parcel, this one. Then like 2 hours later, I was reading my email and noticed that I had another one in the post office. So I was driving to that place again. Hello, James Garrett Walzer as well. So anyway, I decided because I'm not gonna be able to play today for various reasons, like why not do a kind of a more traditional unboxing stream while having a beer and maybe answering your questions while doing so and all that stuff. So not focusing on gaming, but going to see what lies inside. Oh, hello, Cyclops. Hello, Atanato. Have I watched Breaking Bad? Yes, many years ago when it was still fresh. One of the better series, to be honest. Really great story with good actors. Breaking Bad. I totally recommend people to see it in case you haven't seen it. Hello, Björn. Okay, so here inside of this baby, we have obviously a vinyl release sent by Disciplinarian, and this is looking rather goofy. This is a band called Eyes. Underperformer. Doesn't really look like a metal release, and to be honest, if I remember correctly, this was sort of a Morjeskari and hello HR Orm. I think this was some kind of a hardcore stuff or something than just plain metal. And the PR guy asked me if I want to do it, and I decided, yeah, why not? Just send it to me, and I will review it. Now I'm gonna obviously start listing these as we speak. So you have to wait a little bit while I type. Very, very New York artwork. Yes, definitely. Might be post-punk. I'm gonna actually check it out because I don't really remember what the genre was. I was listening to it as an MP3 files, but I already forgot what it was all about. And hello, Miss Felony Strutter. I remember you. What is my opinion on a band I love, the Burning Witches? Well, to be honest, that female from the band, I think they're doing solid heavy metal, but I don't know. I am maybe not the exact core audience for that kind of band. So let's see. Eyes, Underperformer. Gonna list this here. There actually is mentioned as, you probably cannot see it. I'm not gonna. Maybe you can actually. Let's see if I can actually include this. Oh, but you can. Oh, sorry for that. You just have to settle with me. Now, this is, I can actually give you the link in the stream, I guess. There you have it. Hello, Walaba Kubrath, or should I say Ishimura. Can we expect new stuff from Circle of Ouroboros next year? I have no idea. I'm not the same Rauta as in the same band. And yes, metal is metal. And hello, des Nachts. Yeah, anyway, this underperformer by Ice, this is listed here as a Copenhagen metal, so Danish metal. Supposed to be some sort of stuff. I don't really know. Is it even listed here? Let's see if Metal Archives actually has this mentioned. I somehow doubt it. And no, it's not on Metal Archives site. Anyway, I will list this on my what do you call it? Review list. But it's 19th of September 2020. So I'm just gonna type it here for my review queue list. Can anybody guess how many review albums? I'm talking about merely physical products, LPs and CDs. How many I have at the moment before this unboxing part for review? Can anybody guess? This is, by the way, 25th of September release. So we'll take a look at this one most likely next week. Alrighty, there it's done. Ishimura or Alba Gubrat has very good estimate how it's going on. I mean, I usually review any given week roughly 10 CDs and LPs. And I had around Turku Saatanala Fest, that is middle of the spring, I had something like 160. I was definitely going down with my queue. I was like, okay, this Corona is slowing things down. And this patch is related to Corona things. So I'll explain. So I had something like 160. And a friend of mine who's just happy to be a journalist in a local big-ass newspaper, he was said, you're never going to be able to cut that review pile down. I mean, you're never going to reach the level like, hey, nothing's here. I'm just totally open for more reviews stuff. And I was like, hey, I'm actually working down the list. I had some 200 in the beginning of the year, and now I have only 160. And that number has been waving up and down. So it was like James Garrett here suggested around 180. And suddenly there was this one Russian label, which you will see in coming weeks and months a lot. Satanat Records with Cream Productions and Symbol of Domination. 3 labels basically operating. And they sent me like 30 CDs. So suddenly I was over 200. And then some others. So yeah, it's more than 200 at the moment. It's actually 236 before opening this package. 4 good bands from Denmark. Maybe that's the 5th. Yeah, well, to be honest, Denmark isn't really a cradle of good metal bands. I can pretty much agree with that. Miss Felony Schroeder got a new rehearsal tape from Vatine. That is great. Alrighty. So Alex, 3 is totally out of question. Do a funny sound, said Based Hoodies. I don't know who wants to hear me doing funny sounds, but anyway, that's a goofiness. So about Corona. Now, Sony, or actually Century Media, is one of the labels which, in my opinion, does a good job being a good label. That is, whether they release stuff or promote it or whatever, in general, big labels tend to be good. In case you don't know what I'm talking about here, well, today's video was all about bad labels, bad record labels who either screw around with bands, rip off fans or bands alike, and or do no promotion or just take out years and years to reply. So there's so many ways to be a bad label. But Century Media, in my opinion, my years as a review guy as well as a band guy, Century Media has been one of those better labels. So they have been sending CDs per my request quite swiftly. Also, Nuclear Blast and Metal Blade are among those labels that, like, I'm like, hey, you have this new release by band X now out. Can I get a review copy? They say, sure thing. Just let me know your address and we're gonna send it. But when Corona came, pretty much even these bigger labels had their warehouses more or less closed. So nothing was moved basically from March onwards. March, April, May, even June, things were really, really slowed down. So nothing was basically moved. And I had been pestering the local Century Media representative or peer person, like, hey, there's like Body Count, there's Snugglefar, there are lots of albums I want to review. And all I've been getting is like, sorry for that, we're not able to send you stuff because the warehouse is closed and yada, yada, yada. And totally, I mean, I understand it. I don't want to, put any people into risk of getting corona and stuff like that. So if they're not allowed to do their job at the warehouse or whatever they send their um, albums from, I mean, well, I have all the time in the world to wait. After all, I have these 200 plus CDs and LBs, but obviously I want to talk about certain bands so I can make this channel, being worthwhile. I mean, most of the review stuff I do, as you probably already know, is about underground metal bands, black metal and death metal mostly. And to be honest, dear audience, as much as I know you want to be this underground fanatic, checking out all the new bands, all the bands you didn't even know about. To be honest, most of you are just interested when a name band, like a bigger band, is out there with the new release. That is, say, if a Marduk or Mqua, Behemoth, bands like that release a new album, suddenly I'm getting a lot of views, like thousands of views for reviews. But an average underground band you have never ever heard of, it's good thing if I get like 300 views. Now, my point is not to, complain or bitch about it. I'm just merely stating how the numbers are. So obviously, when a band with a name and reputation gets a new album out, I want to review it because I know most people are keen to hear about it. Like, is it any good? Is it worthwhile buying? They want to know what's going on with the bands they know versus the bands they don't know. Well, that's how the world is. Now I'm going to read a little bit of comments and then unbox this package sent to me by Sony, which is here in Finland representing Century Media. So I hope this package will actually finally include the CDs I've been waiting for since March. Now, one album, a boarded album actually, or mini CD, came out despite being on Corona, but even that came like 4 or 5 months after it was released, and I didn't know what was going on with the rest. And I was like asking, like, "Hey, are you gonna send it or are you gonna not? I mean, just let me know." And now this week, I got told that, Jerry, your package is coming. So let's open it a bit. But first, I'm gonna read your comments and get back to your questions before I open this package. What's the worst black metal you've heard? Was asked by James. Well, that must have been this Finnish band called Uhrilehto. Actually, if you noticed my Google sheet list with all the reviews I've done, there's like almost around 900 reviews I've done, and I have totally done almost 6,000. So only some percentage right there. You can pretty much check out what scores I've given, and Uhrilehto, excuse me, is one of those bands I rated less than 2 out of 10. I think the lowest score was 1.5, 1 being the minimum. So there you have it. And hello, GD Snuff. I'm replying with a delay because I'm reading the comments and babbling about these packages. But yeah, Uurilehto is definitely one of the worst ones, if not the worst. Vitutus, which means something like being fucked up, is definitely one of the worst. And there are other bands around the same level. Ilskar band that is recent from Denmark is pretty sweet. I actually think I was listening to it at MP3 promo. Was decent, but not that great. And I was also being asked, am I going to Steel Chaos? Well, assuming Steel Chaos will be there, yes, I am. I have my hotel booked for quite a while now. So yeah, definitely going there. Mm, seems you laughed at the funny voices. Well, I can do more of them if you like. Favorite label, Purity to Fire. That is actually very good label. What do you think about Prince Johanna Lucifer? Actually, I heard only one Lucifer album, but I have the recent one as a CD somewhere in my piles. I mean, I have like five boxes full of CDs to be reviewed. I have four here full, and then one of the recent ones, and then I have a pile of vinyl. Lucifer is in one of these boxes waiting for its turn. Really not my cup of tea. I think it's way too retro for my liking, but it's there. And still waited for 4 months for Asagram CD. Well, that really sucks. Asagram is a great band. Century Media sucks. Well, I guess it's a matter of experience, obviously, because my experience with Century Media is rather good. And yeah, most underground bands suck at promotion. Well, they really do. I mean, there's this contradiction. First of all, bands always say, we don't want to get commercial. We just want to do our underground stuff and all that. Blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, figures. I mean, you don't want to get commercial, so don't bitch about not getting promoted. Then again, if you want to get promoted, you have to be embracing the commercial aspect of a band or music industry. So you really can't save the cake and eat the cake. You either have to be a little bit commercial in order to get gigs and tours, or you then just can pretty much decide like, hey, we're not going to record or sell anything. We're just going to record music at home and never ever play it to anybody. Then you can be fully on the anti-commercial. What else? How many lo-fi production do I enjoy in black metal? Well, I do actually enjoy quite a few bands which are very, very lo-fi black metal. For instance, take a look at Ildiarn, or a band like Surt Vokter, Ildiarn side project, or a band like Heart. I think it was... No, I really don't remember. Was it Canadian band or someplace else? I mean, lo-fi black metal is really, really interesting. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I do like it. But obviously, even with a really, really lo-fi production, you have to be able to make out from the production and sound. Think of like early Dark Throne releases, and you know what I'm talking about. Nagelfar is great, the German band. Yes, it's good. And the new Nagelfar band from Sweden is quite good, and I hope it to be in this parcel. When will be the next Satanic War Master album out? I do not know. I don't have the inside information about it. And hello, DJ. Thank you. You're the man. Yes, I am the man. Look at the biceps. It's not that good, big. Yeah, Strandgård by Nagelfar is good. Ravenstorm, not the worst. Well, not musically. I mean, there are worse bands than Ravenstorm. What else? Finally able to catch up on the stream by Grief After Running Meat. Well, yeah, better late than never. Yeah, my postman really hates me. I was actually joking with the local kiosk where we have this post office. I mean, I live in the countryside, so we don't have a real post office, just the one that is in the kiosk. And it was the same lady yesterday, who gave me the ice LP yesterday, and was like saying like, yeah, after a couple of hours when I picked the last parcel, I got email that I have another package. And she was smiling like, yeah, I got so many parcels. And she knows me by name, even though we have never officially introduced to each other. So yeah, she probably smirks every time she sees my name on the package. You work for Nuclear Blast America, Federal Instructor. That's nice. And does not want me to do more funny voices. I don't know what kind of funny voices you want me to ask, but let's go mental. Oh, let's not. Let's behave like a civilized person. All right, what do we have here? Let's see. Probably some other stuff I wasn't expecting. Yeah. Funny hat time. More comments. No bands have broken the law and played a live gig. All right. What else? Have I heard the Evil show that the Dungeon just put out? No, I have not. I have heard only one Evil LP in the past 2 years. New Valhalla Bound album. I did review it earlier this week, so that's that. And yes, I love Quebecois black metal, French black metal. What is there not to like? French people, very, very hateful. They hate English-speaking people. They are very hateful. And then they take their French melodies. Yes, very, very. We want to separate from Canada. We want our independence. But then we are, who is going to defend us? Where is the army? Please, Canada, don't leave us. We want to be friends. We want to speak French. All right, that's my worst Canadian Quebecois impression. Have I heard the release Sulfur by Neurotisme? No, I can't say I have. What else? Bloody You Heals. I don't know what that is. Lucas Simmons. Dude? Are you just assuming my gender now? Alrighty. Yes, this is true unboxing. Hat on. Hello, I'm Finnish streaming today, and this is a Rauta channel. So peace off and have a beer. Alright, let's stop screwing around and actually see what is in the box. I'm just going to read your comments once again, and then we're going to talk some more. I'm very aware that was happening in the 90s when Euronymous and others were still alive and Varg hasn't in prison, or did I found about after that fact? Yes, it was a bit after. I think I was reading Kerrang or Metal Hammer or something like that when Weakerness was in prison. I don't know or remember the exact year, but around 1993. So, I mean, I was 18 at the time, 1993. So I was kind of like too young before that to be out there to read any kind of English magazines and whatever. I mean, after all, Finland, not some United Kingdom. So I kind of like missed it a little bit. Yeah, Scum made a great comment actually today on the video. I'm glad, Lucas, you liked my Fortress impersonation. And all right, what else? Other way around, but yeah, Neurotism, blah blah blah. Neurotism by Sulfur, yeah, can't hurt it. Haven't heard it. And you don't. Brian doesn't usually laugh because he sucks. Well, there's nothing wrong if you suck and get paid. But yeah, it does suck if you suck and you don't get paid. So there's that. My opinion about public presence from so many bands like Gorgoroth. It's hard sometimes to wait so many years for new music and a concert in your own country. Well, Gorgoroth is a kind of a tragic story. I mean, you have all these legal issues and whatever. So it's kind of a tricky band to like in a way. What else? What I'm drinking? This is some kind of a Mikkeller beer. To be honest, I don't even know what it is. Try to figure out from that. Probably the Zoom is unable to see it. So, but it's a Mikkeller, a Danish brewery. Some stuff really good, by the way. Grief after rotting meat is assuming all this voice changing stuff is related to role-playing games. Well, it might be. I have always been this kind of hyperactive guy. Never got into, acting or theater, but I like to be, playing around with different kind of voices or pretending to be something else I'm not.
I like this grandma sound. I like, hello, welcome to Cherry's grandma sounding stream.
So yeah, sometimes I actually do these kind of a goofy sounds when we're having role-playing night. Actually had that yesterday with my friends, and I was actually playing some weird hag roles. So I guess it is role-playing game related. What else? Brian, actually, that was a kind of a wrestling kind of a homage with the opening of the box. So yeah. And heavy metal music of Destruction Aidan Friend says, hello, Raul, have you heard a new Napalm Death album, Throes of Joy in the Eyes of Defeatism? And what do I think about Napalm Death? I think Napalm Death is one of the best grind bands ever, but this new Napalm Death album, it might be the worst Napalm Death album ever, or at least it's one of the weirdest. I don't know yet what my final opinion would it be, but it's not as good as I hoped it to be. I hope to review it. Brian, not feeling the love. Why don't you feel the love? There's much love to be given. Have love. There you have it. And Dawson, yeah, if a band wants to stay anonymous, how do they end up getting noticed all if they're keeping anonymity? And they must promote themselves. Yeah, it's a hard combo. You really can't have the cake and eat the cake. Was the beer free? No way. I paid for the goddamn box of this beer. Bottles or cans or don't care. I don't care. I care about ingredients. I don't care about the package. Do I like any Gall's solo stuff? Or, well, his other band like Gall's Word or Godseed? Well, Gall's Word was actually good live when I saw it. Warming up for Mayhem last November when I did Mayhem interview. I was supposed to do Gall interview as well, but because of Attila of Mayhem did too much time and, our schedule was kind of like fucked up. That never happened. But yeah. What else? Aggressive voice he does is the guy from Five Finger Death Punch. Yeah, exactly. What else? Have I lifted with the guys from Blood Jelly since the interview? No, I have not. They were only here for the time being. No, actually, I have done one deadlift session with Bessie of Blood Jellies since that. It was last year at the gym. Yeah, so once. All right, contents of the package. What else? This is Beneath the Massacre. Now, finally, this album came because the funny thing is, I requested Century Media already in the spring to do a kind of a giveaway. So what did they do is send me 2 Beneath the Massacre t-shirts. I'm still undecided whether or not I'm going to keep the other shirt or will I just do giveaway for both. But there will be a t-shirt giveaway for Beneath the Massacre now that I actually have the albums in question here. So it took quite a few months. I like how there's 3 bald guy in the video. I don't know what it even means. What else? This is Heaven Shall Burn. Also a CD which I requested already earlier this spring. Brian, what's wrong with sucking some cock? Now, personally, I don't like to suck cock. I like to be sucked. Probably you as well, but I mean, somebody has to suck some cocks because world revolves around sex. Am I right? Also, a request from Springtimes is this Body Count album. It's not new anymore, but it's still something that deserves to be reviewed, in my opinion. What else? Ing Deathwish says, what do I think about Armageddon? Well, it's kind of clear that if you have taken a look at my Armageddon review videos that I like the band. I think it's a good Swedish black metal band and underrated in so many ways. But then again, I hate the word underrated, overrated. It's more like underhyped or overhyped. Do I like to get really drunk? Asked Danny Summers. Only very, very rarely. I do get drunk every now and then. But to be honest, I more like enjoy beer too every now and then, and that's it. Someone mentioned Blood Jellies. Yes, it's an awesome band, and finally ordered a shirt from the label Shadow Records. Shadow Records is actually a funny label because they also have quite a few labels: Shadow Records, Helter Skelter, Blood Dawn, Regain, and I'm not sure if there's a 5th one also, but they're more or less linked together, and they do have interesting bands. But it's a slow label to reply. Since bands cannot tour right now, every band should be recording a new album where they're lazy and not worth your time. I really cannot agree with that because I mean, you really can't force music to come up. I mean, you can, but that usually reflects on the quality of music. So I wouldn't say bands are lazy if they're not recording new music because first of all, you have to have those songs. And if you don't have songs, there is no point in recording stuff. I mean, you can record some rehearsal tapes or whatever, but usually if you force creativity to happen, it kind of suck. Have I received Nikolai's demo Firebringer? No, I have not. And yes, Cyclops Rotting Sound is a good grindcore act. What else? What subscription do I have with the beer that is available in North America, and how much is the service monthly? I don't know if this Mikkeller box is available in North America. I don't think so. It costs something like 50 euros, probably some 55 bucks roughly a month. And it includes 9 cans or bottles of beer of various styles, from non-alcoholic to really strong ones. But now they are changing the style. I mean, it's a craft beer brewery, so I kind of doubt it's available in United States. But you have to really check out Mikkeller website for that. Is this the Black Lives Matter edition? I somehow doubt it. I really doubt it. I don't see any Black Lives Matter things mentioned here. Yes, come do that quote. Somebody has to suck some cocks. And what else? What do I think about Ukrainian black metal? Asked by Maslov Vershria. Well, Ukrainian black metal is versatile as any country. To be honest, there are lots of Ukrainian bands that are good, but there are also bands that are not that good. I've reviewed quite a few Ukrainian bands on the channel, so what can I say? Some are good, some are bad. Not bad, from mediocre to good stuff. Let's put it this way. And the new Armageddon was good, but that not great. I fully agree with that. What do you think about Negura Bunget and Romanian black metal? To be honest, I don't know most Romanian bands. I only know Negura Bunget and then some else. And I remember Negura Bunget did some good ones, but that was like 15 or 20 years ago. I don't even remember the album. Something like maybe. But I don't know. It has this kind of a folky tune, which is not everybody's cup of tea. Not fully me neither, but well, definitely some interesting band. But can't say that I know too many Romanian bands. Do not rave about Vatican and talk shit about my boy Striper. Striper is always there to be shit about. They're Christian bands. You can mock Christians as much as they like. Do I keep all the CDs you get sent? No, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, actually, because I mean, I do not have the room. Even though I live in a house, I do not have room for thousands of CDs. Nor I would ever want to go back all of those crappy CDs. So I get rid of most CDs. I basically keep only the ones that I think are great. Because why would I want to have some mediocre 5 out of 10 release? It doesn't make any sense to me. So no, I don't keep anything but good ones. What else? Ilta Oswald, where are you from? Latin American black metal. Yes, Latin American black metal. Who doesn't like Latin American black metal? If you don't like Latin American black metal, go screw your mom. And then one of the black metal review albums, also from spring, is Dark Fortress. I gave this one a listen when it was released on Digitally MP3 promo, that is, and I liked it. That's why I requested it. And Joe Leggy, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Heaven Shall Burn is here because, I mean, all of these CDs so far, which I've unboxed from this Century Media / Sony package, are here because I requested them because I liked them initially. Well, Vatican wasn't that great, but I wanted to feature it because it's kind of a big band and also something different than the average black metal or death metal review CDs, which I have been listening to and reviewing. Well, I don't in general like metalcore or deathcore, but like like the saying goes, there is exception to every rule. I'm not a hardcore person either. I'm not a punk person either. But I do like some hardcore, like the Terror album a couple of years ago, which was really, really good. So, yeah, I mean, to me, it's not about genres, to be honest. To me, it's about delivering good music. So even if I say rap artist or country music artist releases a good album, if I like it, I fucking like it, and that's it. But then again, also it works the other way around. For example, if a band of my favorites, Burzum, does a mediocre synth album, I'm not gonna get it. I also listened to the new Ulver album. You know, you remember Ulver from Norway doing black metal with like few first albums, two or three first albums, and nowadays Ulver is all about doing pop music, electronic pop music. And I listened to the new Ulver album, and I was like, man, this isn't my thing. I mean, it's like something like a combination of modern talking and Depeche Mode. Well, Depeche Mode is good, modern talking not so much, and Ulver, new Ulver one, wasn't really my stuff. Um, Scum made an interesting point here. Some people are talking about national scenes, Portugal and the raw bands, interesting or just a gimmick sound. In my opinion, most Portuguese bands are not that good. There are lots of kind of a gimmickry, but I don't know if it's for the sake of being a gimmick band. I think it's more about that most Portuguese bands are not that good. I mean, they kind of are original, but they also suck in so many ways. What is my opinion about Oxendus? Well, to be honest, I only know the band by name. What are my thoughts about upcoming Isengard album? I mentioned it on social media at some point, and I think because Isengard is most likely not doing new music on the album, but more about leftovers from the past. So I kind of doubted it's not going to be a good one. I am afraid that it's going to be some of those leftover songs which were not good enough to be released in the first place. So I don't know. I am very doubtful about Isengard. Fellow instructor, you can find my email on the Rauta main page. You just click the information tab and then show email address, and you will find my, email address right there. Yes, Oswald, I figured out you're from Finland. So, which part? Hello, Olav Ere. Cool. Do people in Europe hate bands just because of country they're from? No, I don't think so. And generalizing Europe is, basically you're generalizing a few 100 million people altogether. So it's like asking, like, are American people hating bands just because the country they're from? You really can't generalize that much. People from Finland are totally different from Spain, or Portuguese are different people than Germany or Sweden, etc. You like the new Bob Dylan album, Alex? All right, good for you. What else? Yes, Tim Richards, Depeche Mode is good. Very, very dark. You mentioned the reason why I like Depeche Mode. It's about being dark. I don't care how pop it is, it's dark. And that works for me. And many people like Burzum's synth albums. Oh yeah, more unboxing required. Now, interestingly enough is that usually Century Media doesn't actually send LPs. So I don't know what's going on right now, because as you can see, this is more like a book. Can you see it? It's not your typical LP, with the sleeve or something like that. And to be honest, I don't have any idea what. Oh, Kansas! Now we have some album oriented rock. AOR, or some people say adult oriented rock. To be honest, I didn't see this one coming. Now you have to understand, because of so many albums that I'm getting for review on Rauta, I really can't have them everything on Rauta side, because if it's not metal enough, I really can't justify to take the review spot. So I'm putting all the non-metal stuff, much like this, on Rauta Beyond channel instead of Rauta channel, because it's not really metal. What are my thoughts on post-punk bands such as Molcha Doma, She Passed Away, Aurora? really, I don't really listen to post punk. I hardly have the time to listen to all these metal albums. So unfortunately, post punk is mostly not under my radar. What else? What else? Fenris is happy to put that the Isengard album music out. Yeah, probably he is happy to beat it. I kind of doubt it has to be something to do with this, but most likely not. It just might be doing kind of a fan service thing. But really, I don't know. Hard to say how Isengard album will be. It's going to be interesting, but I am not too positive about it. Oswald Kangasala. All right. Cheers to that. I don't know anybody from Kangasala. I only know the place by name. What else? Speaking of Ulver and style chasing, what do I think about Solstafir? And speaking about Icelandic bands, have I heard the last year Misturming album? I heard one recent Misturming album and reviewed it. And Solstafir is one interesting band because it started as a black metal band, but soon evolved to something different. And the latest Solstafir album was my album of the year when it came out. So it's definitely very, very interesting bands. Most Solstafir albums haven't been my cup of tea, but that one really, really, really is. Hello from Manchester. We have Paul Walsh from Manchester. Can you imagine the amount of British blood in his veins? Hello, Paul. Wondering if I play tabletop role-playing games, D&D, Vampire the Masquerade. Yes, actually, I do play D&D. I've been playing D&D since 1987. Actually played D&D last night with my friends. We play twice a week nowadays on a remote virtual desktop. Do I like New Testament album? Miss Felony Strutter, I reviewed already the New Testament album and I liked it. That Kansas LP looks great. It indeed does. And yeah, Weakerness seems to be a little bit bipolar. Well, yeah, I can pretty much agree with that. And Brian's favorite interview was with Primordial. Well, that's one of my favorite also because Alan is such a great guy, very talkative, very well-worded guy, really cool and easy to talk with. So yeah, and he has his own podcast. So definitely you should be checking out Alan Averil's Primordial Guys podcast if you're into Alan's opinions. Which one of the groups in the conditional war black metal genre seemed most interesting to me? Well, to be honest, not most of them, because most war metal bands, that is, of those black metal war metal bands, which are they just play fast tempo, chaotic black metal, they're not too shabby in my opinion, because it seems like they're just copying each other way too much, and as such, the result is mediocre bands copying mediocre plus bands. Greetings from Mexico, Miguel Gutierrez. Hola. What else? Lee Kerslake from Blizzard of Oz died today. Well, may he rest in peace. Do I play D&D listening to metal? What is my character? Well, actually, I'm dungeon mastering the game right now. That is the current campaign, so I don't have a character of my own. Of course, I changed a character for every campaign, so I had multitude of characters during more than 30 years of role-playing games. And I don't listen to metal when gaming. First of all, nowadays we play on remote virtual tabletops, so listening to the music would suck when we're having headphones on. And usually if I play some ambience on the sessions, for role-playing sessions, I play soundtrack music or dark ambient to create mood. Metal wouldn't really, fit fantasy role-playing games. Do I have a favorite uncult albums? Like something metalheads love to hate more for what it means for it is. Like Cryptopsys Unspoken King hated for metalcore elements. I don't know if I have uncult albums. I guess my most uncult albums would be something beyond metal, like Depeche Mode and the like. Do I like about Dungeon Synth? Some I do, most I don't, because most Dungeon Synth is boring versus compared to retro synth wave. Brian, I don't think Alan is a nationalist. to be honest, he really doesn't seem to be like that. Am I going to review the new Raven album? Yes, if it's coming here in a physical format, but not likely. Do I read some philosophical books of kind of like that? What philosophers or books are my favorites? Nowadays, I read very little. I mean, I've been reading always quite a little, being this kind of a hyperactive guy. Um, but I do read philosophy every now and then. There might be a few years break even with the books I read. But I must say, Arthur Schopenhauer, the German philosopher who is called you know, the pessimist philosopher, he's one of my favorites because he has some really cool thoughts about existence and death and life. Uh, Obviously, I like Nietzsche because I'm kind of a nihilist myself. I like Socrates' ideas. I like some Greek philosophers. So I guess there are many kinds of philosophy paths which I enjoy. But for example, I tried to read Kierkegaard's, what the hell is that book in English? I can't even remember. And that was way too boring and way too Christian for my liking. But philosophy in general interests me a lot, and I do enjoy philosophical talks and debates. And I wouldn't call Archcode war metal, but if it should be called war metal, then Archcode would be my favorite as well. What else? And no, I wouldn't say Alan is a nationalist. He really didn't seem like that. All right, what else? When it comes to reviews, do I ever hit a point when you have to stop due to getting overindulged in metal? A point where everything ends up sounding the same? No, really, I don't get that. If I had been getting to that point, I wouldn't do reviews. But the thing is, I go from highly produced death metal albums, for instance, to very raw, lo-fi sounding black metal. Then I have these technical thrash metal albums, some really crappy B or C grade heavy metal albums. So they all sound very, very different to me. Now, when I get really bored of metal is when there is a band that sounds like it's copying those other names. Like a colleague of mine mentioned, there's a Russian label that basically releases bands which all sound like they were some bad versions of My Dying Bride. So if I had to go like, I don't know, 5 or 10 albums of any given style, one after another, say like 10 different behemoth copycat bands, probably I would say, fuck it, I need a rest. But usually I think bands are very, very different in style. So I don't get bored about that. Joe Legu, I have made DSPM, sorry, I totally misread. I was reading NSPM. I've been thinking about making a video about DSPM, and maybe eventually I will. But I don't know if there is enough things to be said about that. So I don't know. Hola, Renan, Peru. Heidegger. I haven't read Heidegger much, so I really can't say it, but it felt like really hard to get into. So I don't have any deeper insight on Heidegger, except I know that he's a German philosopher. Hello, Tyler. Do I ever get bored of copy-paste black metal? Well, any kind of copy-paste material bores the shit out of me, and then I will let it know on the review videos. Your Silos is a philosopher lecturer. Really, really nice. Yes. Yeah, I would definitely want to read more about philosophy, but to be honest, I have way too hobbies, as I've been told. I mean, doing powerlifting 4 days a week, having role-playing sessions twice a week, obviously reviewing music, having my own band. What else? Self-defense. Try to include video games and watching series and movies, and then also reading a bit. It can be a little time-consuming. I need more hours in my day. What is my number one album, black metal album of this year. It must be Yoth Irias MCD, but I haven't yet decided. I mean, we're still in September, so there are quite a few months: September, October, November, December. We have 4 months still to get through, so I'm not decided which one is my favorite album of the year, but I will be making top 10 list of the year towards the end of the year. And people who made lists like best of the decade forgot that year 2020 is actually the last year of the decade. So I'm still very much making the list of best albums of the decade from 2011 to 2020, and I hope to make it in 3 parts, like top 30 or something, which should be coming out in January. I haven't even started it yet, but I pretty much know which kind of albums will be on that list because I have been doing that kind of a list for many years now. Schopenhauer is great and need to do, yes. And Alex Rose was hoping more unboxing. Or, for example, here we have another non-metal release which I requested from Century Media Sony. This one is Long Distance Calling. Totally not your typical stuff that you might be hearing from Rauta, but I really like this stuff. And this is also cool looking kind of a digibook version, or a thick digipack. Kind of a bookish. So it's very interesting to see how this turns out. The initial listening was really cool. Yeah, there could be something about DSPM about in that sort. I'm a fan of Chevalier. I don't even know their music, I think, only by name. What are my thoughts on Dead Spell Omega? The early albums, like 2 first albums, are the best. Then the progressive stuff, not so much my cup of tea. And yes, Miss Felony Strider, I have 2 black metal bands, one of which is inactive, and one that is very active because we're making our 3rd full-length album. It's called Annihilatus. I will write it down here. So you can pretty much check out Annihilatus material on Bandcamp, and Nightside you will find on YouTube. There will be LP reprint of the Nightside album at some point, but I don't know. Corona has already postponed that album so many months that I don't know when it will be out. What else? Brian, yeah. Doesn't matter. Sometimes I think it's better to focus on a little bit less than too many things. For example, when I game, I don't see it has to lead anywhere. So gaming is just like, much like reading a book or watching a movie. I don't think it's that much something that I kind of have to achieve something with. Whereas my powerlifting, I obviously want to break my own records and get stronger and all that stuff. So yeah. Have I heard the last Ara album? No, I haven't. Para, yes. Ara, not. What is my attitude to Knut Hamsun? To be honest, I don't know Knut Hamsun. What is my opinion about Winter Sun? Well, it's a band that is begging way too much money. Very skilled guys, but kind of greedy. Musically, not exactly my cup of tea, but I totally respect their hard work and all that stuff. Yeah, some people hate digibacks and digibooks because of different dimensions. Hard to store. Well, it's hard to store if you have certain kind of shelves, like IKEA shelves and all that stuff. But I don't know, man. I think it's not that hard. You just have to have proper kind of shelves. Well, getting closer towards the end of this unboxing pile. So finally, this Nagel Afar album also came here. This Seta cloth, which is cloth for the dead or something like that. Initial listening to this was also interesting. Supposedly being nice album also. So looking forward to review that as well. And last and definitely not least, is one of my most anticipated album of the year, and that is Skeletal Remains, United States death metal. Now, this album, the previous album by Skeletal Remains, some 2 to 3 years ago, was actually one of the best albums of the year. So definitely going to like this one. I obviously also checked out this one on digital format, so I know what to expect. It's gonna be interesting and good death metal. Once again, more questions. Oswald, what do I do in the band? Well, I write the riffs, so I basically do all the songs. I play guitar, do vocals, and answer interviews and all that stuff. Whereas my drummer is doing bass, lead guitars, and drums. So one man, two-man band, two guys doing the stuff. All right, what else? Yes, pay for my sauna, Jari from Rindersan, exactly. Do I wear makeup in my band? Well, no, we don't wear makeup. And what else? What is my opinion about H.P. Lovecraft works? Well, I think Lovecraft created wonderful Cthulhu mythos with his writings, but never read most of his stuff. I mean, it's kind of a cool horror stuff, this cosmic horror stuff he created, but I mean, I never read too much books back in the days when I heard from about him for the first time, because I'm a slow reader and I'm kind of too hyperactive to read too much. So I was more reading comics when other people were reading books. Two guys, one band. Yes. Well, the only makeup I wear is the virgin blood. No, that was a bad joke. Yeah. So overall, what we have here is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 CDs and 2 LPs. Where did I put it? Oh, no. Oh, there. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Thank you, fellow Strider. See you later. Be in touch. Check out the reviews and videos and go Cowboys. Yes, Alex Rose, we know that Lovecraft was racist, but then again, it really doesn't matter in his books because the real beast is not human, but those cosmic horrors. And Scum said it nicely. Great concepts, average stories. I don't know the guy behind Black Metal Promotion Channel. Rejected your new album. Why did he reject your new album? I think it's an interesting channel, but I do kind of have a problem people listening to YouTube channels for music, but that's just me. And Lex Beltran, what are my favorite death albums in order? Have you seen my video about it? I've already made a death discography video. If you haven't seen it, that will definitely answer your questions way more in depth than what I would say here. Man is the animal. Yes, man is the animal, definitely. Now I think before we quit, I gotta be going soon. I will actually list these review albums here. So you will hear my clickety-click mechanical keyboard sounding here while I try to list these down. Let's see how it goes. And I will tell you about these review CDs, like how many I already have. And yeah, Lovecraft definitely was a creature of his own time, so really can't judge him by today's standards versus what he was back in the days. Out of the first wave black metal, which ones do I like the most and the one I like the least? Well, Bathory obviously is my most favorite band. My least favorite band would probably be Merciful Fate. Never got to like King Diamond's voice. Yes, fellow Destroyer, I get these CDs for free in order to work. Yes, I have heard the death metal band Portal, but I really didn't actually like it that much. It's definitely strange and definitely unique, but I don't know if I heard anything else from Portal except the Outre album. Yeah, unique, but kind of a too strange for me in so many ways. I do understand that people like it because it's very dark and kind of a weird, very Lovecraftian in nature, if you will. But it really didn't resonate with me too much. Mechanical keyboards make me come. I hope they don't make you come on the keyboard. What else? Yeah, Grief. I have the same thing with Portal. Do you like more death metal or black metal? Well, I really couldn't choose. I mean, I love bands like Death, Morbid Angel, Bolt Thrower so much. But then again, I also like Burzum and Dark Throne very, very much, not to mention Bathory. So I think it's kind of an even Steven game with those two bands. And Miss Felony Story, I do not get paid for reviews. No, most people don't get paid in Finland to do reviews. But my point here is, I wouldn't be getting these CDs for review if I wouldn't do actual job, which is like no pay. The only pay I get to do these reviews are these CDs, and that is the reason why I actually say no to digital files. Because for me, there is personally nothing if I do review digital files. So it's like, let's put it this way: it's basically me spending my time listening to music which I don't necessarily even enjoy on Spotify or YouTube or Apple Music, and then I would write a review about it. Makes no fucking sense at all. It would be basically the same idea: buy some CDs or books or movies, then write a review. It's like spending money to do work. Doesn't really make sense. Yeah, Entombed is good as well. What is some crazy experience you encountered at live shows? Well, basically, nothing too crazy usually. The one show which I missed had some excrement throwing, which I mentioned on the Steel Chaos Festival report. So there were people thrown shit at because of certain performance, but I personally missed it. The craziest things were, I think, in Wacken 2008 or something like that. Enslaved was playing a show there, and there was a couple, I guess. The guy was looking the show, standing up, and there was a lady doing that. So getting sucked while watching Enslaved, can't really beat it. I kind of envied the guy, really. My house is built of CDs. No, it's not. What else? Oswald is asking an interesting question. What was the band that got me into black metal? For him, it was Burzum. Well, to be honest, I'm not sure which was the first black metal band I heard. Probably Bathory, but that really didn't get me into. I think it was Isengard or Marduk or Immortal. They were one of the first ones, mid 90s. Also, Rotting Christ, which I didn't even know to be black metal at the time. I had first two Rotting Christ albums. I liked them, but I don't think I even realized back in the days that they were black metal. Dissection came in quite early on as well. So yeah, and Burzum was one of the first ones, but and Dark Throne as well. I think I first heard Dark Throne in 1994 on radio. So yeah, Oswald's Virgin Ears. So you got offended by, hurt by this kind of action. Don't get me wrong, but sex is the thing that makes the world spin. And I really don't know people who don't like sex. We all need it for physical and mental things alike. Hamias, you will like the new Nightside album cover art a lot more than the original one. This is an interesting question by Gyrolamb about Blues Out Aus Nord and Dead Spell Omega really black metal. I think they're kind of trying to shake or break the barriers of black metal these days, being kind of avant-gardist and progressive and all that stuff. So yeah, hard to define where the actual border goes. What else? Archcode is one of the best black metal bands. Well, I can understand that. Do I listen to brutal stuff like Disgorge, Deeds of Flesh, Defeat, Sanity? Yes, I do like Slam. I do like some brutal death metal albums. I actually reviewed some of the brutal death metal albums last year and included them among my top 20 list. Maybe not exactly top 10. I think the one album might have been in top 10 actually. I don't remember for sure. But yeah, I do like brutal death metal. I do like technical death metal and classic death metal. Oswald, I was joking. I know that nobody gets offended because of showing a little bit handiwork on the screen. Maybe some Christians might get upset. Yeah, Alex, go unsub to for Christian values. Morrissey doesn't like sex. Well, that explains why his music sucks. I don't know. Anyway, going back to write these albums on the list. Nagelfar and Sarah Cloth. I kind of have to take these on the top of my list, even though these are not so new anymore, because I mean, after all, I requested these albums for review, and as such, I don't want to let them down. I mean, because I wanted these, and not reviewing them right away would be kind of a douchebag move. Long distance calling. Next in line. What is this album called? How do we want to live? Yes, that's the album. And it's Inside Out release. When was it released? That's 26th of June. Not even too old. Now I really have to check out about that Napalm Death, why it isn't in the package, because I requested that one as well. Oh, most likely not, because it was released yesterday. I hope it will be coming here later on. All right, Scum was Nice to see you. Take care, my friend, and see you with more stuff coming your way. Like the saying goes, body count. Yeah, body count, carnivore, real estate. In case you're wondering why I do the real estate thing, is I just want to have that information on my review list. So I have the information here as well. What's this, Sony or Century Media? Century Media. Alrighty. Few more albums in, and then I'm gonna bug off as well. Gotta get to the bed soon. I must say I never actually listened to Striper. Heaven Shall Burn, 20th of March. I guess this was Century Media as well. Yes, it was. Terve, kaamusmieli. All right, Beneath the Massacre. Fearmonger. Let's add this one to the list as well. Also, 28th of February. So it has been out for quite some while now. This tells you a lot about how all these Corona stuff kind of postpone all these albums. That is an interesting question about Vatine guys being fans of Striper. Because I kind of doubt it. Dark Fortress, in case you don't know, is a German black metal band. This is Spectres from the Old World. That's included into the list. Also 28th of February. It's already quite old. Skeletal Remains was, if I remember correctly, this was a little bit newer. Like very, very new. Yeah, September 11th. Entombment of Chaos. This is something that I gotta really, really soon review, because it could have been cool to get it out right away. And that Ice I have already listed, and then this beautiful Kansas LP. This is Sony Music Kansas, The Absence of Presence. All right, let's see. 17th of July. Kind of interesting that all these albums, I mean, they were like black metal albums, death metal albums, some weird metalcore or whatever, and suddenly the only one which I'm getting as LP from Sony is a AOR release. So interesting. So now that I have updated my list here, is something like 244 releases. I just missed some of these ones because I was pretty sure I was counting to 9. Either I am counting wrong, but like, let's see. No, yeah, 9 more. So I was something like 235, and now 244. 244 albums in my review piles, or pile, boxes. That's quite a bit. Now I'm out of beer. Empty. So any last questions? Gerland was disappointed and Watain when they fired the guy for political correctness and to appease the rage mob. Yeah, that was really stupid move in my opinion. Is Finland stopped because of COVID? No, not really. Miss Fellow Destroyer, I have a hard time to find even the time for all the bands I'm reviewing, so really don't have the time to check out bands like Striper right now because I am trying to keep up with the review albums. Yeah, Cheryl, Kansas, it's an old band really, and still making music. Then again, Deep Purple also did a new album, and it's like 6 years old. Do I have favorite painters or painter now in the past? I guess it would be safer to say that I don't have favorite painters because I do like various styles of painters, past and present. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not such a painter fan as such. I know this is not non-alcoholic beer. I don't know how strong this was. Not very strong, I guess. Really, it's too dark to read what it says here. But nah. Let's see if I can actually figure it out. 3.8 or something like that. So a mild one.
Another funny sound. Will this be alright?
All right, Alex, your CD is in the mail. I hope you to receive it soon. And Hamias is unfortunately so right about it. The best way for me to get to listen to something is send me a CD. It's not that I even want more CDs, but that's the thing is, for the past few years, especially for the last couple of years, when Rauta has kind of been getting bigger and bigger, the thing is, I have been kind of like overcrowded with CDs and LPs, so I really can't find time to listen to anything else except for the stuff I review, basically. So I mean, it can sound really, really weird because, like I said, this is not my day job. But getting so many CDs, which I don't want to neglect or ignore, I have to kind of be listening to the stuff all the time. And I want to do it. I enjoy it as well. So it's just like I'm forced to go through review stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what's taking my time. What is my personal attitude towards Nergal and his value system? Well, I don't know about his value system, but topic Nergal is kind of a big take to be done on the stream. Let's just say that I respect his work a lot, and I think he totally deserves all the credit he has gotten for his job. But also some weird moves, which I think, I mean, doesn't really belong to metal, like being on the talent show and all that stuff. But I mean, who I am the judge? Man's gonna do what man's gonna do. I think now that I was actually reviewing Behemoth's 1995 release, When the Forest Streams Eternally, and comparing two live tracks which were included on that same CD, the newer versions are actually quite crappier when it comes to vocals. So, in my opinion, Behemoth musically has changed too much, and Nergal has done something that probably shouldn't have been done in the terms of what is good for the band. But I mean, it's Poland's most successful metal band, so I guess for them it has been all the right stuff with all the right reasons. What can I say? What else? Yes, Cyclops. My pleasure. It has been nice to answer questions and so forth. Take care, my friend. See you on Discord. And last few questions. Atanato Kosmiki asked me if I do practice MMA, mixed martial arts. Well, kinda. The self-defense, what we do nowadays, by we, I refer to me and my colleagues who run the small club of self-defense. I guess it's kind of mixed martial arts because we have reality-based self-defense, which also revolves around knives, around grappling, and basically all kind of situational awareness stuff, and different kind of techniques what you can do. Basically, you can do anything which just works. We don't have rules in the same way as competitive MMA. But yeah, I guess it could be called MMA, even though we just like to use word self-defense because that's actually what's going on. What else? Do I like cattle decapitation? Somewhat. I was actually going to review their latest album earlier this year, but then I guess something happened. It was too late, and Metal Blade basically suggested that let's just skip it and move along. So that's why I didn't review the latest cattle decapitation. And yes, Oswald, Nergal was actually one of the, I think, Talent X or Do You Got Talent, something like that. One of the jury members there. Cheers, Maslow. Always happy to answer. Oh yeah, American Talent or something like that was mentioned. So yeah. Cheers, Alex. And what else? Thank you, Rutgers and Yusin. Thanks for the compliment. There was a funny thing actually just yesterday when somebody is saying like, I can't understand anything what this guy says. That was on the Shining video. He was saying like, this guy has so weird accent that I cannot understand anything he says. And I was just thinking like, okay, you must be some weird ass American because I know a lot of people who watch Rauta channel basically all over the world. I know people who speak really kind of a harsh English coming from places like Russia or Brazil or different parts of Europe, and they have no hard time understanding what I'm saying. I mean, of course, I know I'm not fluent in English. I mean, it's not my native tongue, but still, I think I am mostly speak understandable English. But this one person said he couldn't understand anything at all because of my accent. So what do I know? I guess nothing. Well, DJ, I think people were kind of a judgmental that a black metal person did this kind of a talent show jury thing. I mean, we all know that black metal people can be so judgmental. Like for example, commercial success. It's a big no-no. If you do something mainstream, it's a big no-no. Cover a certain kind of song, and it's a no-no. So black metal can be so goddamn conservative, which is kind of like a contradiction with its black metal being rebellious and all. So I think it's kind of a funny that people who say black metal is Satan and Satan is rebellion to be rebelling against moral values, Christianity, and all that stuff. Like, let's break the rules, let there be no rules at all. And then, hey, you really can't do this and that. And you also can't do this and that because it's not black metal enough. And I'm like, guys, go screw yourselves. Thank you, Danny. Would I do an interview with Demilich? Definitely, I would like to do interview with Demilich if that is possible at some point, because I have that vocalist Antti Booman as my Facebook friend. I could basically ask, but if we end up in the same place, we could do a Demilich interview definitely. Rytkösen Jussi, do you mean Rally Englanti? The rock came right up to ass of Timo. We can do that as well. And yeah, Oswald, yeah. Accents are fun, and in my opinion, it's nice to goof around with different kind of accents. The very basic thing in all communications is it doesn't matter what you say or how you say it, which words you use or which one you use. The main point with communication is if you get understood correctly, it's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you use sign language or if you use poor selection of words, if you get understood. For example, if it's me and some lady in the club and we're like, and then we end up doing it, the communication was successful, speechless. That's all that matters. Thank you, DJ. I am here to help. Svartgast. I don't think I have heard Svartgast. Doesn't actually sound familiar at all. Yeah, Oswald, it's different. Different people have, for example, a hard time understanding British English, even though it's kind of a purest form of English. So that's no, Danny. I don't have a cassette tape collection. I actually gave pretty much all my cassettes away to a friend around in 1999, 1998, somewhere along those lines. I basically saved only the cassettes which had my personal input, either as a band member or as something else. Like for example, like in mid 90s, I made the inlay for a band called Mufhem, which did Amorphis like stuff. That is mid 90s Amorphis like stuff in the city where I was school at, and those kind of tapes I wanted to store because I mean they had something of my personal input in them, vocals, inlay work, or something else. But the rest I gave away. I don't even have a working cassette player anymore. Looking at you, it becomes clear how you could pound on the Russians during television. Yeah, it's because of these muscles, baby. Just kidding aside, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have been a good soldier. I'm kind of like too rebellious myself. I don't know if I know my shit when it comes to black metal. I try to know things, but to be honest, I always say that I don't know nothing. It's basically what Socrates was saying. Like the oracle said to me, "You're the wisest man on the earth, for you know that you know nothing." I try to live by that rule. I try not to assume too many things because assuming wrong things makes you a really dumb person. So I try to learn things. I try to remember things, but there's so much things to remember, so much things to read. Things change all the time. So it's hard to keep track on everything. It's impossible. So many bands, so many albums, so many people doing weird kind of stuff. So I'll just try to learn and get that information digested. But it's hard, as everybody knows. Way too many albums, way too many bands to keep track of them all. Why are so many of the women in black metal world so fat? It's disgusting. Now that's a funny comment. To be honest, I think black metal is seen kind of a sexy because of the mysticism, because of its rebellious nature. It's way more sexier than, say, death metal or thrash metal, and I think it kind of appeals to certain kind of people, male and female alike. And also, there's this kind of a feeling of danger with the rock star ship. That is, I mean, if you take an average death metal guy, he doesn't really look like he gives a damn shit about anything, but just getting wasted and playing guitar. I mean, death metal and thrash metal are seen way more nerdy, kind of a more geeky than black metal, which is supposed to be more philosophical, more ideological in nature. So it kind of attracts more intelligence. I'm not saying it's more intelligent as a genre, but the genre gives you a kind of a indication that now we're talking about philosophies, we're talking about ideologies, we're talking about religion, we're like a thinking man's genre. And when those guys have these dangerous looking makeup, corpse paint, if you will, chains, spikes, nails, I mean, it is sexy. It's like black metal is basically something that Hollywood could come up with, versus death metal and thrash metal, which looks more like a redneck genre. So, I mean, black metal bands on stage are closer to bands like Kiss than Pink Floyd, if you know what I mean. So, I think there's a lot to do with that. So, you will find more women at black metal shows than, say, death metal and thrash metal shows, definitely. What was my introduction to black metal? That was actually asked before. Among the first few bands were Bathory, Dark Throne, Immortal, Marduk, Isengard. What else? Rotting Christ, yeah. I don't know which one came first. Well, DJ, thank you about your comment about my black metal knowledge. Maybe there is something I don't know. I don't really care. I don't want to boast about it. I just tell what I have heard, seen, and read. That's pretty much of it. Um, Thank you, Jussi. I think the interview with Jesus Crew was kind of a fun. It was totally improvised on the spot because obviously we didn't know that there would be certain kind of Jesus Crew on the spot. But yeah, it turned out to be fun. Way more funnier, way more funny than it would be expected. Yes, I mean, yes, black metal is kind of more nerdy in that respect. But I mean, when I was saying that death metal is kind of nerdier, I meant it was more musically nerdier. I mean, you know, knowing all the details in your guitar and pedals and stuff like that. It's musical geekiness. Whereas black metal, which has never been very technical in nature, especially in terms of metal music, black metal is more geeky and nerdy in the terms of these topics like fantasy literature, science fiction, and well, reading philosophy can be a very, very nerdy thing as well. So black metal is definitely nerdier in terms of the non-musical side. But when we're talking about musical side, like how fast can you play, how quickly can you pick and do killer solos and stuff like that, I would say death metal, thrash metal, or obviously progressive metal, definitely more nerdier in that musical respect. And yeah, waiting for a new Isengard album. Definitely going to see how it will turn out. Now I will finish my my list of music here for the review stuff. I will actually just quickly get it over with so I know how to and what to review early next week. Most of these albums are now quite old, so I don't know. I don't know when to review which ones, but I have a clue at least right now for the time being. All right, it seems like that is pretty much done right now. Should you have any final questions before I go to bed? I really need to take the dogs out before getting to bed. No more questions. Are we done? I was supposed to be here like 1 hour and then head to bed and all that stuff. But if we're now done, I think that's pretty much that. One question remains from me to you guys. Well, I will reply these two questions. Rutges and Jussi, the best albums of the year. I will reveal that information after New Year's Eve when I have finally gone through the albums of the year. There are already a few albums which I'm hoping to get for review, which are under work, so to speak, in works. And also, there's still 4 months to go with this year. So not yet going to reveal the best albums of the year. And when it comes to the worst album of the year, I really don't know. Doom Eternal, most likely not going to try it because I didn't like the latest Doom game before that. So not going to stream it. At least I am not going to buy it. If somebody wants to donate me that game, I'm all in and I'm going to test it. But I have too many games in my backlog as well as these albums, so I'm not going to buy it. Yeah, dogs make life worth living. We have one wiener dog, what's it called officially. But if I say wiener dog or I think it's Dachshund or something like that. Yeah, Dachshund or Wiener dog. That's the younger one, which came here early summer, and the other is Schnauzer, the small size Schnauzer. What is my favorite game and what I'm currently playing? I have been actually streaming about 20 sessions. That Ghost of Tsushima, which is so far my game of the year. Last of Us 2 was really great as well, and I'm really stoked about new Cyberpunk 2077. Also, Watch Dogs Legion and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So great games coming up, and I will be streaming them on Rauta Beyond channel, but I will also try Twitch as soon as I'm done with the Ghost of Tsushima streaming on Rauta YouTube. I will let you notify about my Twitch account when I will take it into use. For some reason, love the new Marilyn Manson album. I actually got it on as a streaming or downloadable link, but haven't listened to it. I went through the whole Marilyn Manson discography a couple of years ago when I read his book. The book was really good, but the discography doesn't really resonate with me. I mean, it's not bad, but Marilyn Manson is just my cup of tea, and no, they're not sending me a copy. So yeah, Pekoni ohjus. Bacon missile. Yeah, sausage doggo. It's a really fun dog, very energetic, and it's still a puppy. So it might be taking the piss inside the building if I'm not gonna go there. And Fleischrott der Toten. Greetings from New Jersey. My greetings to New Jersey as well. And greetings from Tasmania. 3 favorite black metal albums. Oh, these questions keep up coming. 3 favorite black metal albums. One of them would be Transylvanian Hunger. One might be Under a Funeral Moon. And one might be Storm of the Lights Bane. Out of Blue. Anyway, no more questions. My question to you was, and please reply fast if you want to reply at all. Would you like to see more of these kind of mail unboxing and questions and answers kind of streams in the future as well? Because I could do these not every week, but I could basically take my mail and not open it until it's streaming live. So if you want to have more of these unpacking streams, let me know now. And if you don't, let me know also. All right, seems like some of you like it. All right, I'll keep that in mind. And once again, should you have any questions which you want to be answered in some of those AMA, that is Ask Me Anything videos, you can always just comment on any of those videos. And if the question is interesting, I will copy paste it on my file and then reply back to you with AMA. I won't take these questions from this stream and add them to AMA because there's no point to for me to answer them for a second time. But once again, if you have questions, put them on some of the videos and I will get back to you eventually with AMA. Once there is like 10 questions or so, I will make a video and then answer your questions. But of course, you can pretty much just do these questions here as well. And if you like these streams with unpacking the mail, yes, we can do it. We can do it. All right. Thank you for being here. Way too long. I hope this to be 1 hour. So like beer in, unpacking the stuff, answering your questions, and then going back to the house, watch some TV. But now it's too late. So I guess it's time to say good night to you all and all that stuff. Take care, my friends, and ciao, bye, good night, gute Nacht, and whatever. Bye-bye.